Good morning, everyone. It is almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and I decided to take some time today to just come on and encourage you all, especially ones that's in a season of, feeling like provision is needed, or you might not have a job, or you might be looking for a job, and you might be struggling to find something, and you just feel like you're losing hope. You're scared. You don't want to, be behind on bills and things. Well, I want to let you know that God will provide. He will come through. Even if it's at 11:59, He going to come through, girl. Or a guy. It doesn't matter. He going to come through. And we might not see it, but we have to trust in Him and know that He's going to come through for us. So I would say during the beginning of the pandemic, I had a job. I had, multiple jobs. Some jobs ended. And it was a really good job. I really enjoyed that job. I was working with Department of Children and Families. It was a remote type job, but the job ended like at January of 2021, and I was just devastated. I was like, man, I really liked this job, and I liked the job, but at the same time, I didn't want to be in customer service anymore because it could be kind of draining dealing with people on the phone all day, back to back, and no break. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just get on unemployment and I'll be fine. So around that time with unemployment, they was giving you like an extra $300 during that time, and I was good. I was like, okay, I could just wake up, I could do whatever I want. I got this unemployment money. I'm not worried about nothing. And that went on for some time. Then at some point, I think it was around June, maybe May, June, I had got an email, or I was just seeing it like they was going to get rid of the 300, and I was like, well, the 300 is what's been helping me stay afloat, because without the 300, I wouldn't have had enough to cover my bills. And I was like, Lord, you're going to have to come through, because I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. So usually whenever I didn't have a job, I go to like the temp agency to see what they have. But majority of the time, those usually be like warehouse type jobs, and I didn't care to really do that. I did it if it was for the last resort. The last resort, I'll do the warehouse. But I was like, you know what? I want something that's long term. I want something that's really fulfilling at the time, fulfilling for me, or something that's more laid back. I don't have to be on the phone or anything. And I just kept applying to jobs, this and that, but I kept getting denial after denial. I was like, oh my gosh, like rent is coming up. What am I gonna do? And God just always seemed to come through for me. I was never late on any bills during the pandemic. We just always had what we needed, and food and all types of things. So I'm just coming to encourage you all to don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about how this will happen, how that will happen. If God's going to show up when you need Him, He will. He's going to show. We just have to trust Him. So back to the story. So after I went to the temp agency, I was presented a position, but that position was customer service. And like I stated before, I was done with customer service. I did not want to be on the phone no more. But the lady was stating, she was like, well, this is going to be a guaranteed position. And she told me to pay and all of that. I mean, the pay was okay. It wasn't the best, but I was like, well, I do need income. So I don't want to, miss out on this opportunity and not know if I'm going to get anything else. But it was just something in me, that little mustard seed faith that was like, you know what? No, that's not what you want. And hold on, y'all, the train coming in, that's gonna be really loud. All right, sorry, y'all. So back what I was saying. So I was telling myself, I was like, you know what? I'm not finna settle for this customer service job just because I need something. Every opportunity that's presented to you does not mean you need to take it. So sometimes I think God kind of tests us. He throw things out there to see like how desperate we are, to see like are we going to jump at any opportunity that's presented to us. And I was like, you know what? No, because what I prayed for, I asked God specifically. I said I want a laid back job. Specifically, I asked for a data entry job. I was like, I want a data entry job, a job that's laid back. I don't have to do much, just type what I see. I can be on the phone if I really wanted to. I can listen to my music. Like I wanted something like that, something that's very, I feel free. It's not people hounding me and stuff like that, like how these customer service jobs be. So y'all, I turned the job down. I turned it down. I was like, no, that's okay. I'll find something else. So after that, I went on Indeed and I seen the data entry job. I applied and I got off. I was like, all right, Lord, I'm giving it to you. And so I went to the park. I think that same day I went to the park, or that next day, I was just chilling in my car, just in my peace, just listening to my gospel music, and I was just at peace. I was like, whatever happens, happens, Father. I'm trusting in you. So why y'all in that car, the recruiter or whatever, she called me and she was like, she's interested in doing an interview with me. So I was like, okay, I'm all for it. I was like, that is so fast. Like, I just applied today or the day before, and she just called me just that quick. So I was like, thank you, Lord. Like, this might be the opportunity for me. So I went in to do the interview. But y'all, it didn't even seem like no interview. They wasn't really asking me questions like that. They was just getting my information and giving me a badge and all of that and telling me like when training and all that to be. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm in. I mean, I'm happy. So training was like, I think 2 weeks in person, and then we did it remotely. So it was a lot. It was a lot in the beginning because that was a whole new industry I was not used to. It was an insurance industry, but it was all right. I mean, it was new to me, so it was gonna be a little challenging. But it was like, I was like, you know what? This is what I prayed for. I wanted something laid back, data entry that's not taking too much out of me. So I'm like, let me just learn it, and it might get easier over time. And it did. It did get easier over time. I mean, they were still presenting new things that kind of made it a little challenging, but I had a great team, great supervisors. Like, it seemed like I had so much favor on that job. And today is January 31st, 2025. I am still on that job, y'all. So it is 4 years later, I'm still on that job. Mind you, I moved. That job was in Georgia, and I moved back home to Florida back in 2023. So they allowed me to move down here and keep that same job. I'm like, Lord, this is just beautiful, because many people were looking for jobs and they just couldn't get in. You know, trying to work from remotely, it's not easy to get a remote job. But I had remote jobs before, but this one was so different. It's like the level of care, like they just worked with me anytime I needed help with anything, or if I probably couldn't show up that day for whatever reason, they were very understanding, and they still are. And if I'm kind of not doing the best in one area, they don't be quick to fire you. They want to help you as best as they can. They want to understand what's, making you struggle, so they can help you become better and learn from those things. Like, they're very great. It's a very great company. I'm very grateful for them. And yeah, I just see favor all over that job. So I'm grateful to have that job, and I thank God all the time for that job. But I am coming to a point where I feel like this job is going to end at some point, because I want to do something more fulfilling. I feel like this job came through when I needed it. It was exactly what I needed when I prayed for it. But right now, the place that I'm at right now, I'm grateful for it. It's feeding the family, it's, providing all the things that I need. But I do feel like I want something more. Like, I want to do something that's more fulfilling, something that, that I can use my gifts that God blessed me with. So I'm on a hunt for that, and there's a few things in store that I plan on doing this year just to get things started. But I just always had a sense of I wanted to do something more. I just didn't know what that was. So now I got a better view on that. But I said all that to say this. If you're believing for something, especially in the form of a job, don't give up. Don't settle for less. Believe in God. Tell him, be specific now. Don't just let him know exactly what you need. And he will give it to you, as long as you put your trust in him. So whatever job you want, believe him for it. Now, sometimes he do put us in certain jobs just to test our faith, to see how we do with that, and then give us something better after that. But if it's something that that you really want, and you have just a little faith, believe in that, and don't just settle for the first opportunity that's presented to you. And trust me, you will get it. All right, y'all. Have a great day.